mindset behind your actions in this case? It sounds like you lost control of yourself.
Not at all. No, not at all. I'm done with this interview.
That's so conniving. Do you understand that?
I'm your worst nightmare, David.
You have a moniker, the National Forest Serial Killer.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I think I prefer the Beast of Blood Mountain.
A killer perversely proud of his crimes.
I set the record. I'm the oldest serial killer in American history. Isn't that amazing?
He lurked in the woods, preyed on hiking trails, and displayed the evil that can be found in the wilderness of the human mind.
I'm your worst nightmare, David.
Gary Michael Hilton is talking about his crimes for the first time ever.
After ignoring innumerable requests from every kind of person in the world, it's time to break my silence.
And he'll be confronted like never before. Now, you keep pointing to robbery, but was that just an excuse to torture and kill people?
Torture and kill people?
Yeah.
Hold on. Torture? I didn't torture anybody.
Kidnap people, chain them up in your car, beat them to death. You rape them. Most people would regard that as torture.
No. Where are we going with this?
Well, I think we're going to the mind of a psychopath.
A psychopath?
Devoid of empathy, mercy, or decency.
Narcissistic?
Psychotically so.
You're nuts.
I killed him with it. It's beautiful.
Now awaiting a death sentence in Florida, Hilton says he's finally ready to come clean.
I'm going to give you a news scoop. I did it. I'm confessing to a murder on camera.
And reveal what really happened to his victims.
She said something that really grabbed me.
What'd she say? It's the last chapter of an American crime saga. Do you hate women?
Yes and no. Yes.
And our last chance to look inside the mind of one of the country's most terrifying serial killers. You have the power to haunt our dreams.
Yes, sir.
Turn them into nightmares. Do you enjoy having that kind of power over us?
You know, in a perverse...
Becca, is that you? Yeah. How are you doing? Good. Good. Hanging in there?
A police body camera captures this pleasant exchange between an officer and a woman who was accused of being a serial killer.
You might not reach in there for me. No, Hon, I think the last time I looked up your name, you had a warrant. So I'm just going to put you in the...
Cancel.
It wasn't?
Officer Hobbs.
Okay, I'm just going to put you in the back of the car and we're going to figure it out, okay?
The woman being arrested is Rebecca Auborn, a sex worker in Columbus, Ohio. She's accused of meeting men for sex and then drugging them so she could rob them. She's been charged with killing 4 men with fentanyl. News station WTHR spoke with Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost.
This is obviously a very serious crime. She's presumed innocent until she's convicted by a jury of her peers. But the fact pattern is just very difficult. I've never seen anything like this in my career.
Their investigation into Auborn led detectives to an area about 6 miles north of downtown Columbus, Ohio. That's where 4 men were killed between January and April of 2023. One of her alleged victims was drugged, but he survived. Auborn faces several charges, among them 4 counts of murder and involuntary manslaughter and 5 counts of aggravated robbery. She has pleaded not guilty.
Still with us, our guest for this hour out of Irvine, California in Orange County, trial attorney Lauren Johnson Norris. Nice to be speaking with you about this case because it's such a challenging case, too. You have a challenging subject that's going to go before this jury. You have these victims that were Johns that were committing a crime, but then you also have this defendant that is a known prostitute.
Yeah, absolutely. There are really, in this case, a bunch of challenging parties. I think prosecutors, they come into cases and their victims aren't perfect, and defense attorneys, their defendants can be also challenged. And here you have victims who were engaged in illegal activity, possibly illegal drug use or an attempted illegal drug use. They ended up consuming fentanyl at this woman's urging, behest, or drugging. And ultimately, they paid the price for that. So, the prosecution is going to be looking for jurors who are going to be able to look beyond the fact that the victims were soliciting a prostitute. And the defense is going to want to talk to about the reasonable doubt and how that just because this woman was a prostitute doesn't mean that she's a murderer.
Yeah, Lauren, they do have one person who survived who's going to tell his story. So there's that, right? Again, someone who was soliciting a prostitute in the way of this particular woman, which, that's pretty low-end prostitute. So that's one thing. But then the whole drug part. How would you defend this case? Because I look at this case and I wonder about the fentanyl in this case. Fentanyl has been known to kill folks in the streets. Maybe she got a bad batch. That could be a place I would go if there was some way to show that it was all from the same batch. I think you might have a defense here in terms of the murder aspect of this case.
There are a number of defenses to raise. First of all, the prosecutor is going on the theory of murder, meaning that she intended for these folks to die. And it's incredibly plausible that she was either sharing drugs with them, or even if she did drug them for the purpose of a robbery, she didn't mean for them to die. Like you mentioned, fentanyl, we hear stories all the time about accidental overdoses. Young people of all walks of life taking fentanyl one time and finding that as a result of that, they lose their lives. And so, sure, a theory of the case could be she was sharing drugs, or even if she did intentionally drug them, how can the prosecution prove that she intended for them to die? That's the real question a defense lawyer is going to ask the jury and say that they just can't show that state of mind.
Well, it's just so potent, like what you were saying, Michael. I mean, even touching it, we think about Corey Richards in that case. I mean, just touching it can put someone in a shock and then lead to death. So it's going to be fascinating to hear that part.
Yeah, it's going to be important to the story that the survivor tells, how the drugs were introduced into their equation.
But how will he be painted?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the difficult part as well.
Rebecca Auborn was a 33-year-old woman living in Columbia, Ohio, who killed at least 4 men senseless. The police arrested her for the murder of 4 men and giving drugs to 1 man. The police accused Rebecca Auborn of giving fentanyl to some men between December 2022 and June 2023, due to which those men became senseless at that time due to the fentanyl. This is the name of the men whom Rebecca Auborn murdered: Joseph V. Crumpler, Robert Snoke, Wayne Akin, Guy Renda. There is one more person to whom Rebecca gave those poisonous drugs, but the person to whom she gave those drugs was very lucky that he was saved from those drugs. And I want to tell you that some charges were also put on Rebecca. Like 28 charges, out of which 4 are murders, 4 involuntary manslaughter, 5 killing people after giving drugs to them, 5 loot, 5 serious attacks. These charges were put on her after mixing them. Let's start our discussion on Rebecca Auburn's case today, and we'll know what happened in her case and why she did all this. It is also told that according to the court update in October 2023, Rebecca had pleaded not guilty to all the charges that were imposed on her. And in February 2025, the judge declared Rebecca mentally fit for the trial. Let me tell you all that the date of Rebecca's trial has not been fixed yet. When the police investigated against her, Rebecca was a female serial killer who committed many murders between December 2022 and August 2023. And the police also said that this killer killed her victims in a simple pattern. This killer used a drug so that she could kill her victims easily. And the name of this drug was fentanyl drugs. If any person takes an overdose of this drug, even by mistake, then there is no chance of that person surviving. Because these drugs are so powerful that they erase the line between life and mouth. This drug is almost 50 to 100 times more powerful than morphine. It was discovered in 1960 by Dr. Paul Janssen. This drug was originally used to reduce severe pain during surgery of patients. But today this drug is used for wrong purposes and to take the lives of others. During the 1970s, it began to be prescribed for anesthesia and to patients with chronic pain. During the 1980s, this drug began to be manufactured in illegal labs and mixed with street drugs. Now this drug has become a major reason for illegal fentanyl overdose deaths. Now let us tell you who this female serial killer was and where she lived. So let me tell you that Rebecca was a resident of the northeast side of Auburn, Columbia, Ohio, and not much details are available in any of the articles about the early life of Rebecca. This first woman was a serial killer about whom no information is available. Not even any information about her family has been found in any article or newspaper. Who is her mother? Who is her father? Who are her siblings? Is also not known. It is only known that she had a baby who was only 18 days old, and in 2016, her newborn baby also died. Just imagine how big a shock it must have been for a mother to see her newborn baby losing her newborn baby. Maybe this became the turning point in Rebecca's life. If we talk about Rebecca's childhood and her studies, it is also not known officially. It is not known why it is happening that the detectives have refused to make all the information public. Let me tell you that Rebecca's criminal record was completely clean till 2023. There were no charges or cases against her. But some questions are why Rebecca made her mark in the world of crime. According to some detectives and some reports, it is known that Rebecca's life was very complicated and full of struggles. When she started facing shortage of money in her life, and struggles were increasing then, Rebecca decided to take the wrong path when she thought of entering the world of crime. After police investigation, it was found out that Rebecca started trapping men in her trap for the greed of money. Rebecca earlier used to force them to take drugs and used to mix a deadly drug in their drinks, due to which the man would die within a short time. After that, Rebecca used to loot their money and escape from there. And it has also come to light from some reports that Rebecca used to meet her victims as a sex worker and trapped them in her trap. She might have done all this for money, or maybe the troubles of life had put her in darkness. Now let us tell you who were her victims and when they were murdered. The name comes first in the murder list. 1. Joseph Crumpler. He was around 30 years old. His murder took place on 15 January 2023. There is no information available about him in any article or newspaper. Number 2. Wayne Aiken. He was around 64 years old. His murder also took place on the 1st of April 2023. All the details about him are still kept secret. Number 3. Robert Snoke. He was around 54 years old. His murder also took place on 13th April 2023. All the information about him is still kept secret. Number 4. Guy Renda Jr. His age was almost 42. He was murdered on 17th June 2023. No information has been found about him. Rebecca met all of these men through a sex worker, where he would ask Rebecca to meet him at a hotel. After going to the hotel, Rebecca would force them to take drugs by mixing them in their drinks, or drugs in which Rebecca would secretly mix fentanyl, and the man would get addicted to this dangerous drug and would fall unconscious on the table within seconds. These meetings would take place in hotels on the northeast side of Columbus, Ohio, often in the areas of Interstate 71, State Route 161, Cleveland Avenue, and East 17th Avenue. In one case, Rebecca admitted that she had mixed fentanyl drugs in a man's crack pipe, and while the man was taking an overdose, Rebecca looted his car and debit card without telling anyone and fled from there. All these incidents occurred between December 2022 and June 2023. Authorities suspect there may be other victims about whom we have not yet received information. The investigation into Rebecca's activities from December 2022 to August 2023 is still ongoing. And I'm so sorry I cannot tell you the names of these hotels as authorities have not released the specific names of these hotels. It may be wise to keep all information confidential for now, due to ongoing information or privacy concerns. Whatever information I have got about this case till now, I have placed it before you. In the end, I would like to say that your safety is in your own hands. You should not believe anyone's words. Stay safe and secure. To watch this real true crime documentary, please subscribe to my channel.